The SEAL teams requires you to mature quick now and on the spot. You don't have a choice. Listen, we're taking a scale of preparing for a combat mission that involves life and death. It has to be what if to the very end, and there can't be any mistakes made. And if I bring that mindset to the racetrack, it makes you that much better and ultimately puts you in front of the pack.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
No sunglasses. Is that okay?
I can try.
Is that too bright?
I think I'll be all right. Yeah, so grew up small town Colorado, pretty blue collar town that, you know, a lot of hardworking people. I knew I wanted to do college, but I really wasn't prepared to do the debt part. So I knew military would pay for college at some point, and I said, hey, that's my plan. I'm just doing the military. Beyond that, I had no plan. I had a buddy who kind of randomly one day, he said, hey man, you ever thought about being a SEAL? And I said, no, I haven't. And he goes, well, you should go give it some research, you know, and look into it. And I said, okay. Came back the next day and said that, you know, it sounds really cool and badass and I'm gonna try it. So that was the end of that story. But for me, the 10-year mark was either you're gonna be a career SEAL or there's something else that you're gonna go do and you go do it. So the Navy was like, hey, we gotta know, are you staying or are you going? And I was super indecisive about it because at that point, racing wasn't a viable thing for me. I didn't have a whole ton of experience. I've raced stuff my whole life, but I've never done it professionally. And this theme kept playing in my head of now is the right time. You know, there's never gonna be a right time, so make it right now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go race. I'm gonna go do NASCAR.
Well, I mean, I've worked with the team for the last 3 years and a lot of new drivers come in. His name came by and I looked at what his past was, but it was pretty clear after about 5 or 6 laps, the guy knew what he was doing and had a talent for the wheel and the feet. And somebody said, listen, while your daddy was paying for 200 races, he was doing 200 no-fail missions. And what prepares you for this environment more? I'm not sure 200 races does. I think it's your ability to be able to manage your mind and grind it out over, you know, the race, the weeks, the months, the years. And I tell you, the guy's damn quick.
You know, just like in combat, you've got to be in control enough of your own mind to be able to dumb that down and still, you know, process and do your job. You're doing, you know, 100, 120 miles an hour in a race car. You've got your spotter talking to you, telling you who's around. You're feeling the car. You're making sure the car is doing it what you want it to do. You've got people in front, to the side, and behind you. And man, there's so much stimulus that's feeding into your body at one point that, you know, if you're not prepared for that, it'll shut you down. But for me, where I find, you know, my solace is in that chaos. There are fully funded teams in every series. And you know, those teams get to run the newest equipment. They've got a full-time crew. You know, when they get practice, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. I go the entire gap in between a race where I have no contact with a seat in a car. And on top of that, we're running a car that's, 13, 14 years old from way back in the day.
This big track, that's a bit of a new gig for him, but his second short track race, he was in 6th, ended up in 8th against guys that, I'm probably the nearest guy he raced again in terms of experience had 10,000 laps more than him. And he made some of them look bad.
With that happening at only my second race, there was a lot of, hey, holy cow, like this is gonna work. Like we can do this as a team. Thank God our driver has some sort of talent, you know what I mean? And once we get the equipment and the funding secured, I think it's gonna be game over. I know it's gonna be game over. I have no doubt in my mind.
Most people, when they come into this facility, you walk through the tunnel and this big stadium opens up in front of you. And I've seen it. Most people kind of get in awe. But I'm not sure that guy's capable of getting fazed by anything.
My end game with this whole endeavor is to help bring motorsports into the recovery, the transition, the healing of the veteran community that leaves either due to injury or due to just next chapter in life kind of thing. Instead of, the pills and all the psychotic stuff that happens to say, hey, you're fixed, take these pills, go home, you'll be okay, and it never works. That's what we're going to shoot for, and then we're hitting this off season hard. We're going to canvas under every single rock for sponsorship, crush the off season, and come back beginning of 2019 ready to just turn this series on its head.